Hey everybody, I am here with Wiccagem, and thank you for being on the show, or video.
Yeah.
I know you have a YouTube channel, what is that under?
It's under Wiccagem,
Okay.
Wiccagem. Always
Alright,
been there. I finally came back after a little hiatus. So,
that's good. I know I missed watching your YouTube videos. so,
yes. Yes.
so, the first question I've got for you is what particular path do you follow?
Well, that was kind of one of the reasons why I've been gone from YouTube was the fact was I had to slowly discover myself, going through a breakup, um, just discovering myself and slowly learning that, that my faith in religion, my spirituality is basically basis Wicca, and then eclectic Wicca, and then the structure of my house would be witch. I'm
Mm-hmm.
undergoing that whole title. I want to see if it actually meshes well with my Wicca, because there is a difference between Wicca and being a witch. The whole like the rules, the law of three, that's
Yeah.
kind of in place too, but it's kind of a unique adventure that I'm going through, actually. There's some
Yeah.
things I like and some things I don't like. So I would classify myself as just a Wiccan, eclectic Wiccan, right now as we speak.
Okay. How did you find your path?
Years ago, many moons ago, when I was really young, my best friend, but not at the time, she was just acquaintance, lived two doors down. We became really good friends over Halloween, and she told me about paganism, neo-paganism, and that it is a new form of the old ways. And she's like, "Here's this. We could do this. We could do this spell, and things can happen in our way." And I was like, "What?" And then me and her went on this whole adventure, uh, going to libraries, going downtown, going to groups, and discover more and more that we're both Wiccans more than pagan. So that was like, oh God, when I was 13, 14, that was years ago, almost 20 years ago.
Oh wow,
So,
you definitely been walking your path longer than I have. Just started my ninth year in January, so. Uh, when you first started out, who
oh,
influenced you the most?
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. When you first started your craft, who influenced you the most?
As in like an Arthur or
Just
as in
anybody. It could be a friend, an author, another YouTuber.
Dorothy Morrison was a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of her. I love most of her works, if not all her works. Scott Cunningham, of course. That was kind of a venture to go through all his stuff, and I wish he's still around to actually make more books, more productions, because I think he could have gone really far.
Yeah.
Um, I liked Buckland for a moment, and then I realized he was too traditional, and I'm not a really traditionalist person. I kind of like think my own ways, make my own rules. So
Yeah.
that being the case, I kind of fell out of him. But yeah, Dorothy DJ Conway is another one I really like. She's over here. She lives by Mount Hood, not that far from my place.
Oh
So that
wow.
was really, really, really cool connection. And that's that's kind of my go-to books. That's kind of what
Okay.
inspired me to be who I am. It's Dorothy Morrison more than anything.
Okay. When you're not
Yeah.
practicing your craft, what do you like to do?
Like besides just jumping around in circles and lighting candles, uh, so far I'm getting back into my video games. I'm really happy about that. I lost touch with that, and now I'm slowly getting back into it, which is really nice. It's the whole video game world is totally different from when I used to play. So yeah, getting into video games. I really like reading books. It's like it's one of my fetish. Just love reading books. I also like going out and drinking beer and socializing with my friends mostly, and
Okay.
buying books and more books. More. So yeah,
More
I mean,
books. Can never have too many.
no, there's no such thing.
How do you personally view the Wheel of the Year?
Ah, God, that's such a that's such a unique question. Uh, am I a bad person for not celebrating every holiday of the Wheel of the Year?
No, because I don't myself celebrate them as holidays. I just observe them as changings of the seasons anyway. So you're not a bad
Right.
person.
I think I only do certain ones that I really connect and liked, and there's ones I just don't care for. Like the spring ones, I'm sick during that time, so due
Hmm.
to allergies and grass pollen and all that stuff, it affects me in a negative way. So I'm very agitated easily. Summer solstice, which I just recently celebrated, has always been my favorite one because it's so close to my birthday, and of course Samhain. And we all love Samhain like nobody's business.
Who
And
doesn't love
I don't know, kind of like
Halloween?
winter ones. The one
Who
my
doesn't love
Yule is kind of my
Halloween?
favorite, right? But I celebrate Yule because it's really cold, and I like being in colder climates, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's certain holidays I like, but how I view it as is like it's a changing, the wheel of changing. It's pretty unique that ours spin one way while while the southern atmosphere spins the other way. That was kind of unique to learn about that. Like, oh, their seasons are different. This other world, they're doing summer while we're doing winter. So I thought that was kind of unique to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Do you have any cultural influences that influence the way that you practice?
Let's see. My dad's side of family, being from the islands, I do not touch any of that stuff. I was trained for like a year with my great aunt about the tradition and whatnot. Watch out for hexes and curses. They call it jinx on my island. In English, it's called jinx. Um, there is rules about it. You can only do so much. You can only do a certain amount of rituals and spells because the success rate is 100%, if you will, and since it's so pure, it asks for such a big gift. So you necessarily don't really want to use up all your 6 or 7, I think it's 7, big major rituals that you can cast for like protection, love, money, or whatever. And once you use those up, then if you use any of those sevens in a negative way, the outcome would be a negative towards your family. If you use it for positivity, the positivity will come back to your family. It's kind of like the law of three in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And once you use up all your stuff, it calculates what was good. You tally up what good or bad during your spell crafting, and that would tally up against if it's a curse against your family. And I've seen a couple family trees just burn down due to the fact of people using it
Oh,
for
wow.
fame and money, and they become like presidency on my island, and all of a sudden, bam, the whole half that family is just struck down from freak accidents and stuff. So on my side of the family, we only do it for good, for the best, for the fact is that we want to survive. None of us really want to die. This weird thing we have, but yeah, I don't really incorporate that much. But I have 1 year training in my head, so if I see something funny around my house that is from my tradition, dad's tradition, I can quickly. So sometimes depends on the situation, but not much. Stick to I think heavy technology these days, really heavy
Okay.
technology, which is kind of unique. Yeah, yeah.
How do the solar and lunar cycles influence the way you practice?
Ah, that's a good one. I had a little series that kind of had a rough takeoff, a startup with called Sunbats, and a lot of people were kind of weird about it. But the fact was, there's S bots for the moon, and the solar holidays were based on the wheel of the year. Well, like I said earlier, I don't really celebrate every aspect of the wheel, so I had to make a I had to make a whole new thing for me, and I created Sunbats. And if you read Dorothy Morrison's Some Magic book, it is such an amazing book for just a male. perspective. For females, and I'm not saying this is in general, like, females have to do the moon and we have to do the sun, but I kind of resonate with the sun stronger as because, like, we do have while females have their monthly periods, we'll have our periods throughout a day. And it explains so much in the book that the beginning, the dawn, the noon, the dusk, all that's how we go through our emotions, and we can figure out quicker. So I connected that way. So for a while I was doing Sunbots YouTube videos, and I kind of stopped it because I got quite a bit of backlash by saying, well, we already celebrate that, so why you're trying to incorporate a new tradition? And I was like, I'm not trying to make this a brand. I'm not trying to make this as like the official. I was just saying, hey, if there's a substitute out there for people who like me who don't really celebrate the wheel of the year as much, how do I usher out that connection? Especially I'm really connected to the sun. So that came into play.
Okay.
With SBOTs, with the moon, I'm always celebrating with the moon. Always celebrating the moon. And I see that all the time in books. It's always about the moon. And I thought that was kind of unfair. So that's why I created SBOTs, to justify the counter aspect, male aspect.
Yeah. I can see that. I can see that. I actually like the Sun Bat series that you were doing. I've actually watched every one of those, and then I'm just like, it's gone. Sad face. So...
my Wicca finding videos, I have to go on a long journey into my jobs file. So after that, I was thinking about getting back into my Wicca findings, because that was one of my favorite series. One of my favorite series.
I know, it was so cool to see everything that you got. I'm just like, that kind of, when I had my older channel, that series that you were doing inspired my own series of videos doing the same thing.
Witchy halls and stuff. Yeah. I love seeing other people's videos.
Yeah, I just don't buy a lot like I used to anymore, because I've mainly practiced folk magic now, so everything's already on hand at the house. So.
Right.
What does initiation mean to you?
Initiation, the terms is making a promise and dedicating yourself to the craft itself. I did mine years ago, and every time it's the anniversary, I kind of do a little ritual to reflect on the past year. And it has been going on. It has been going on for 15 years. So every year I kind of reflect back. So it's kind of funny that you talk about that, because I was just looking at my personal book of shadows, and I saw my original dedication. It's basically, it's a contract, essentially, to me. Like, I was just reading it, I was like, oh, it's a contract. I have contracted myself to this craft and uphold the Wicca redeeming, and just uphold the respect of others, and respect myself as well, and know my limits and know other people's limits, and it's kind of cool. Yeah, so how I view it as is kind of a contract.
Okay, that's an interesting way to view it. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Sorry about that, my internet shut completely off.
Oh shit. You asked me about auras.
Yeah, do you believe in the chakras and the auras?
Or, like, before we got cut out, I do have a couple books up there about beginners on auras, and I was thinking about this earlier, about auras, and how does one see it, feel it, or sense it? And I don't consciously know much about auras, other than the fact that it does give out radiant, energy, and certain photos can pick it up, and certain people can actually visualize them and see them and feel them and whatnot. So never really touched that subject as much. It was going to be on my next list of digging.
Okay.
But chakras, I have worked with them for a while, and then I just fell off the wagon with it. I did I did for a moment was like all about crystals and aligning them for myself, and it was effective. It's just at that moment when I was doing it, it was like, oh, so much work, so much
Yeah.
work. So, um, just since you asked those questions, you might influence me to actually read up about auras and get back into my chakras. So yeah, it's
Okay,
kind
cool.
of a unique thing. Thank you.
Cool. What advice can you give to any new witch or pagan?
For newbie, uh, learn that you can't. Should be no reason for you to go buy everything at once. Take your time on that. You will grow a big altar as much as possible. For experienced person myself, I kind of wish I can go back to the basics and just light a candle and do something simple. So enjoy that freshly new life of yours.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing too is protection. Protect yourself from everything, because it seems like there's a lot of people out there who are not really kind to other people, especially not unconsciously not knowing that they are harmful, negative energy wise. So protection.
Have you ever, by any chance, I know this is kind of off the question list I sent you, but have you ever read a book on protection? Like on protection magic?
Yeah, I have this book called it's by Chris Penzak.
I know which
It's
one it
really
is. It's
dark.
The Witch's Shield, because I have the same
Yeah,
book.
that was a really good book to read about for protection. Now arming myself to make sure that nothing comes at me, and kind of like self-defense and offense. The Utterly Wicked by Dorothy Morrison is such a unique book. She tells you in that book that you don't have to be like love, peace, and harmony. You don't have to walk around and pray that you don't get hurt. Like, you can't be all
Mm-hmm.
this whimsical person. Sometimes you have to be a fighter, a warrior, a soldier. And she equips you with things that you can create, like landmines, like around you, so you're protected. It's not like that book is not about going out and harming someone. It's actually self-defense. And what would happen if you're in a situation, and how would you react correctly so you don't get, the repercussion of bad stuff coming your way. So those are two good books for about protection and whatnot. Those are really two good books that I really like to arm myself with.
Well, I've read a book called Protection and Reversal Magic by Jason Miller. And it's a lot of like floor washes. Yeah, it's got like a flaming hand and a triangle on it or something. It's a really good book. First book I ever read on protection magic. And I still use some of the techniques today. Like when I'm washing hardwood, like our hard tile floors and stuff, I actually do some of the protection washes, and that's what I wash the floors with. So it's a lot of practical stuff in that one.
What I do in my, now since we're kind of on the subject of protection, what I do in my room is essentially a sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't cast circles in my room because my room is already set up for those rituals. What I do is I put my hand physically on my walls, and I picture for each corner the elements defending my walls. And then I picture like a nice blazing strong sky above while I put my hand on the ceiling, protect me. And then the bottom, I picture this cold, dark, black earth soil protected for the bottom. So essentially I have like a boxed in. And then for windows and doors, I create this screen that filters out energies, because I usually have my fan in my window, and that's right there sucking an energy in. So I want to make sure that I'm very protected that way. So, including doors. So my whole room is like protected for that reason. Now when I step out, that's free for all. I feel like I should have my charms and my protection around me. That's why I'm always wearing necklaces or rings or little charms, or you might find change and crystals in my pocket. Or just recently I've been taking a bottle of lavender oil, essential oil, to work, just to smell it, just to kind of reduce the stress and kind of up my protection, because my environment at work can be negative. So yeah, I protect myself as much as possible. I swear, I'm a witchy condom.
Oh my gosh, that's the first time I've heard that
I'm not
one.
gonna get. I'm not gonna get.
I am just gonna put a hashtag on this video when I post it places. Hashtag witchy condom just for you.
Witchy condom.
Well, thank you for doing this with me today.
I know it's been kind of a struggle to kind of connect with you because on my end I was battling Skype for a moment. And
Yeah.
birthdays and everyone coming at me and
And then my schedule's chaotic, but you know we got it. That's all that matters is we got it. All right.
Thank you for interviewing me. This is fun. You're the first person to interview me, so.
Hopefully I did a good job because this is my first interview actually.
Oh, great. Both popped.
All right. Well, thank you for definitely thank you for interviewing with me today.